Hi, thanks for joining me today. This video is going to focus on some balancing, flowing yoga postures. We all know that yoga poses, balancing poses like tree and eagle and things like that are super great for cultivating balance and muscle strength and bone strength. But we're going to add a little bit of a different dynamic to this balancing sequence today by adding a little movement, because especially for those of you who ride, you know that your horse is moving all the time and you have to find that dynamic balance on your horse. And for those of you who bicycle or hike or run or do any other type of physical activity, same thing, you're moving, so you have to have that, be able to find that dynamic balance when you are in motion. So we're going to do that today. The first thing we're going to start with is the walking vinyasa. I have another video on my YouTube channel that is specifically for the walking vinyasa, so some of you may recognize that if you've watched that, but again, additional video if you want to check that one out. So you don't need anything special today. I have my yoga mat. You can do this without a mat. That is fine. You just need a steady, non-slippery, even surface and maybe something to grab hold of to help with your balance. So that could be like me. I'm here on my deck, so I have my sturdy deck railing here. You can use a fence at the barn. If you're at the barn, you can use a sturdy chair, sturdy piece of furniture, something that if you need it for your balance, it's not going to move on you. So that's the biggest thing. So we're going to start in mountain pose. And first of all, just finding our grounded foundation. So feet hip distance apart. Lift all your toes up off the mat, spread the toes, place the toes down. And if you're doing this someplace like at the barn where you have your shoes on, that's fine. Just imagine and think of spreading those toes. Same idea. You can lift and spread them as much as your shoes will allow. And the more you can spread your toes in your shoes, the better. That's another video. But anyway, finding that grounded foundation. So think of the inner arch of the foot lifting. Think of the kneecaps lifting, the sternum lifting. We have energy through the crown of the head. The shoulders relax down, the tailbone lengthens, we have energy down through the heels. So we have this dynamic balance going on already with the energy levels in the body, the energy in the body. So energy coming up the front of the body and then going down the back of the body. So if you'd like, you can close your eyes for just a few moments, few breaths. Connect with your breath, because in any yoga sequence, and especially in a balancing sequence, we want to make sure that we're breathing first. So if you find you're not breathing through any of the sequence, you want to take the balance down a level. So maybe bring the leg back down to the mat, make it a little easier so that you can find that balance and that breath. Inhale and exhale. As you breathe, think of inhaling in through the soles of the feet, all the way up to the crown of the head. And as you exhale, think of releasing and exhaling from the crown of the head all the way down and out through the soles of the feet. So imagine that you're sending roots down into the earth as you breathe. Inhale and exhale. And then very gently let the eyes open. So we're going to start with that walking vinyasa. So let the knees be a little soft. Bring your hands to your hips to start with. And let's start with our right leg is our standing leg. I'm going to, as I usually do in my videos, mirror image for you guys. So right leg is your standing leg. The leg is not locked. We're not locking that knee. Toes of the left foot are to the mat, and we've lifted the left heel. Now bring the arms out by your side. Think of just soft, easy balance here. And then we'll gently bring that leg forward. Let your right knee bend just a little bit. So find that balance first. And then in our walking motion, the opposite arm is in forward with the leg. So bring that arm forward, and then just going to gently bring that leg back. Let the arms switch. And then just do that a few times. So this helps with that stability and that standing leg. Inhale, make sure you're breathing, and exhale. And the slower you can do it, the better. Think of keeping that neutral pelvis. And we're activating the muscles those glute med muscles, the outside of the hip, and then of course all the muscles all the way down the leg. So do one more. And then the next time the leg comes in front, bring the arms again out to the side, turn the leg to the side, and then gently bring the leg back in, bring the hands back in, release the foot down. So take a breath, inhale and exhale. So you'll notice as we do this, the leg that's moving is getting some action, but the leg that's really working is the leg that's your standing leg. So again, arms out to the side. Now the left leg is going to be our standing leg, so we're going to lift the right heel. Find a focal point, a drishti, something to gently gaze at. And then lift the right leg up. Bring the left arm forward, right arm back. And then again, we'll do this little walking flow here. And you might notice that one leg is steadier than the other. We usually have a stronger leg. Again, make sure you're breathing and make sure you're not locking out that standing leg. Keep a little bend. You could even do a little, as you come forward, you can do a little lift up and a little bend if that feels good for you. Good. So one more. And again, as the arms come up, leg comes forward, arms to the side, bring that leg out to the side. Maybe bring the hands to the hips or the hands to the heart, and then bring that leg back in, bring that leg back down. Find your mountain pose, let the arms release down. Take a breath. Inhale and exhale. Good. So our next flow is a little variation of a one-legged mountain pose to a variation of a warrior three pose. So I'm going to turn a long ways on my mat so that you can see this from the side. So it's the same thing. Find your nice grounded foundation here. Find your mountain pose. Inhale and exhale. And then very gently, again, we're going to start with our right leg is our standing leg. So, so lift the left heel. Find that right leg is your standing leg. And then bring the hands to the hips. So we want to make sure that the hips stay level. Bring that left leg up, flex the foot. And then you can actually let's bring the hands to the heart. I like that a little bit better. So bring the hands to the heart. Think of pressing the thumbs into the sternum, lifting the sternum into the thumbs. So finding just this first balance here. And then we can start just a little movement. You can bring the leg behind you. Think of hinging a little at the hip. And then bend the knee and come back up. So again, if you have that something beside you, you can do that, just barely touch it, finding that balance there. And if you'd like, you can go more all the way towards that warrior three pose with the leg out behind you. Another variation is to just let the toes slide back on the mat. Again, that's a variation. You're still working on your balance and the muscles in that standing leg. So the next time, again, that you come back up, pause there, that one-legged mountain pose, really think of lifting up and out of that right hip. Bring that left leg down, come back to your mountain. Inhale and exhale. And then we'll do the same thing on the second side. So again, let's bring the hands to the hips. So reset, look down at the feet, make sure the feet are hip distance apart. Lift the right heel, find that balance on the left leg. So important, again, as we do all of these, when we lift the left heel, we don't want to lose the right hip. We don't want to let that leg swing out to the side, or that left hip, now that I'm not mirroring you since I'm facing the end. So hands again to the heart. And your toes can stay right on the mat. You don't have to lift that leg up, but lifting that leg up if that feels appropriate. Hold on to something beside you if you need to. Make sure you're breathing. You can flex the foot or point the toes. Either one, just make sure you have energy in the foot. And then very gently, again, think of hinging at the hip. We're going to bring that leg back a little bit. You'll notice one side's easier probably than the other, just like the walking vinyasa. Bring that leg forward and back. The tricky one with this is that we're changing our focal point. So as we go back, kind of let the eyes trace down, find another little focal point to look at without letting the head collapse. Just let the gaze go back and forth. Let's do one more. And the next time you come up, just pause there. You can, if you'd like, bring the arms overhead. And then gently release the leg down, bring the hands again back down. And we are back in our mountain pose once again. So again, with that mountain pose, just maybe close the eyes, notice how you feel. You feel a little bit more grounded down through the feet now with both feet back on the ground. Inhale and exhale. And very gently let the eyes open. So one more little flow. This is a heron flow. Heron is one of our beautiful, beautiful balancing postures. Very, very graceful, just like the heron bird that it's named after. So I'm going to start. I want you to come to the end of your mat, the back end of your mat back here. So I'm going to start facing you just so you can see the shape of the pose, and then I will also move to the back of the mat. So let's start again with the right leg is the standing leg. So we're going to lift the left heel. Find your balance. Again, hands to the hips. Now this pose, the standing leg is bent. So we're going to bend the right knee. When you bend it, think of tracking it towards the second and third toe. Make sure it doesn't wing to the inside or to the outside. We want to protect these ligaments in the knee, so make sure it tracks straight forward. Then bring your arms out to the side. Find your focal point and think soft arms here. Think of the heron's wings, so think soft arms, and then you can lift that standing leg. Inhale and exhale. So again, keep that standing leg, or lifting that left leg, keep the standing leg bent. So again, from the end of the mat, you can, if you'd like, let the arms float. Inhale the arms up. Exhale the arms down. Inhale, arms float up. Exhale, arms float down. Good. Once more. Inhale and exhale. Now this time as you inhale, press out through the palms, straighten the arms, straighten the standing leg, straighten the lifted leg. Step forward with the lifted leg, bend both knees, soften the arms, bring that opposite leg back out. Inhale, arms float up. Exhale, arms float down. Inhale, arms float up. Exhale, arms float down. Once again, press out through the palms, straighten the arms, straighten the standing leg, straighten the lifted leg. Step forward, bend both knees, soften the arms, bring that back leg forward. Inhale, arms float up. Exhale, arms float down. Inhale, arms float up. Exhale, arms float down. Press out through the palms, straighten the standing leg, straighten the lifted leg. Once more, step forward, bend both knees, arms out by your side, soft arms, find your wings, bring your leg forward, both knees bent. Inhale, arms float up. Exhale, arms float down. Inhale, arms float up. Exhale, arms float down. This time, press out through the palms, straighten the standing leg, straighten the lifted leg, bring the arms overhead, and then land that foot back down with your mountain pose, extended mountain pose. Bring the palms together, and then very gently bring the hands back to the heart. Close the eyes. Again, just notice how you feel. Inhale and exhale. And then very gently let the eyes open. So I hope you enjoyed that little flow of our balancing postures. And again, balance is so important. Anytime we are, as you go through your day, just walking, you can trip and stumble, and the better balance you have, the easier it is for you to catch yourself so you don't fall. So that's so, so important. And when we do activities like our riding, where it really requires us to be balanced in the saddle, all of these simple little moves that we can do are really beneficial. They're going to strengthen the muscles in the legs, and the core, and then also help you with that. Especially these moving ones, help you with that, following the movement, finding that dynamic balance on your horse. So thanks for joining me today. Check out information below about Grey Horse Yoga and the classes that I teach and workshops that I have coming up. And I hope to see you sometime soon in the saddle or on the mat. Thanks. Bye-bye.